Hard to say. I think that I have a very evil nature, but I have an equally good nature, and they are constantly at odds with one another.
Yes, there are two wolves inside of you.
Oh yes,
Yeah, I could be your angel or your devil.
yes, and the two wolves inside of me are always trying to eat each other, and luckily the side of good tends to win. That's what editing's for. All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm up. I'm recording. We're ready to rock and roll. Once you've got all your tools up and going, we'll pull the itchy trigger finger.
I'll itchy trigger finger you. All right. Hello and welcome to Basements, Faults, and Catapults. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron.
And I'm Trevor.
And here we're going to be looking at games, genres, and the things we enjoy in gaming.
And to do that, we're going to randomly select a genre each episode.
And then we'll give a brief rundown of that genre.
That's when we'll select two games. One of those games will be the absolute best in show for us, while the other, for very good reasons, is not very good. The catch, and what we hope will be the fun part, is that neither of us will have played, or at least played heavily, the titles the other has selected.
Yeah, so we're going to take those titles, the best, the worst, we'll divide it up, we'll give it an hour of playtime, we're going to meet back up and chat about our experiences.
That's where we'll give our own opinions of the other's games, beat each other up, tussle, beat, pound, punch, kick,
tickle fight,
only
pillow
tickle fight,
fights.
whatever's required, and try to refrain from murdering each other where we disagree, because we both know not everyone can have a perfect opinion.
And that is it. We hope that you'll join us, listen in, maybe be inspired to try a few titles along the way, or, let us know exactly why our opinions are trash.
Thanks for joining us, and remember...
You don't have anything today, do you? You didn't.
I had one.
You didn't plan
I had
ahead?
one. I'm just blanking out.
You
man.
just write it down.
I do write these down. I do, which is nice. It's just this is always the last piece of it, and I'm always like, okay, I've got this one. I've got this figured out.
You're ready.
Fallout
76 was initially intended to be an open world exploration game.
Was it?
I don't know. I got nothing for you.
Oh, I got a good one.
Oh, and remember.
Thank you for joining us. And remember, if you don't like the weather in Alberta, wait 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's a good one.
That's
good. That's not the one I had in my mind, but I can't. It's gone.
It's gone.
I lost
it.
I lost it. So, yeah, here we are for another episode of Random Genre Selecting Super Mega Fun Time.
Doodle-doo. Yeah. Exciting. I believe in our pre-banter, and probably in here we mentioned what games we're currently playing. So if I had to, I don't want an RPG to pop up here because I'm filling up on my own RPG at home.
Yes.
So I don't need more. And then I would guess you probably don't need another. What would you consider satisfactory? Oh, pardon me. Automation?
Automation, base building.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of Satisfactory. You've been playing a lot of Persona.
Yep.
I think, I could go for pretty much anything today. I think Satisfactory, I just want to look at their store page. They've got base building, automation. They call it open world, but I would definitely not call it that, but crafting. So base building, automation, crafting. I don't think we have automation or crafting in any of our titles, though. What do we have? What do we have in the titles?
What do we have here?
What do we have here in the titles?
You dare use my own spell.
I don't think we have base building. I don't think we have automation. We gotta always make sure that we have... Oh, no, we have automation. Okay, that's good. We have base building? We don't. And we don't have crafting. So automation... I think automation and crafting are kind of the same genre, I would say. Aren't they? So...
Yes, no, because there's some really interesting, like, blacksmith simulators and stuff like that.
But that's true. That's true. All right, so we're going to put crafting as 47, and 48 we're going to put as base building.
But, like, the thing is, like, every automation game is a crafting game, but not every crafting game is an automation game.
But I think crafting we would stick with, like you said, we would stick with, like, if we find, like, a game where you have to, like, actually... The game mechanic is you have to do the crafting, as opposed to... So crafting without automation
Yes,
Yes.
I would agree.
So like blacksmith simulator, like there's actually a very cool VR blacksmith simulator.
There would be.
I haven't tried it yet, but it is on my wish list.
It is on there.
Yeah.
It exists.
Speaking of which, we haven't done VR yet.
No,
No.
it hasn't come up.
Hasn't come up.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know. If I had to pick a genre for today, I would say I could go for something sci-fi.
Oh, nice sci-fi. Yeah.
I could even go for something really chill, like a farming simulator.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Yeah. You know, we actually have dating simulator as a genre now.
Yeah,
I snuck that one in there.
I'm aware we have it.
I mean, that one's been in there for a few weeks now, and it hasn't come up. So
There you go.
this is just luck of the draw here.
Luck of
we're
the draw.
we're walking through a field full of landmines at this point.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It is. So yeah, what do you think? Should we roll the dice? and
I
see
think
where
we should
land?
roll the dice. Where's
Let's
my
roll.
dice?
You know what? That's a good question. I think it is right here.
Ruh-roh.
There you go.
Hey, all right.
Teach me for cleaning.
As always, I will roll the mystical D20, which will decide how many times Trevor clicks the button.
Ooh, here we go.
It's teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
And that is a 15, my friend.
15. Whoa, my clicker finger. I'm gonna have to buy a new mouse.
Yeah. Do you remember when those idle clicker games were all on the land? Like it was Cookie Clicker and a few others.
Yeah.
Do you remember when those were big?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I wore out a few mouse pads.
So, my friend,
Okay.
I clicked 15 times.
All right. And what did we end up with?
Category 1 is automation.
Oh, snap.
Category 2 is base building.
Uh-huh.
Category 3 is 1990s. So we always go with the first category,
Yeah.
typically, unless we've done it in a while. But I don't think we have done any automation.
I don't believe so. No.
yet. So actually, this is kind of cool. I like chill things right now. Like I was saying, I
There
could
you
prefer
go.
farming.
You could go for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So automation.
Yeah.
What are your favorite automation games?
I mean, Satisfactory is amazing. Factorio is one of those, like, I always want to play it, but I always get so frustrated mid-game with Factorio that I end up quitting. Because I usually get, like, my second mining base overrun by bugs or something to that extent. And it's just, it's so frustrating to me, and I always end up quitting.
That's fair. That's fair. Again, you don't want it to be too punishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not that. It's just like it feels so at odds with what automation games should be to me.
That's fair.
And I know people look at it as just another resource to manage. You got to manage that resource too, and that's awesome. And I'm glad that they can really enjoy that. It's just it's moderately frustrating for me, and I'm not playing a game to be frustrated.
Hey, I'm with you on that. Totally.
What other automation games have I played?
In 2016, I bought a copy of Big Pharma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I figured how bad could Big Pharma be? And then COVID happened.
Oh.
Oh man. Oh no.
Yeah, no, those are like off the top of my head, those are only like big automation games I've ever played. Like I've heard of a lot. There's Dyson Sphere, there's what's the one where you turn a planet into
Oh, Planet Crafter. Yeah, the one.
No, not Planet Crafter. That one I really enjoy.
That was good. Yeah.
We played that together for the
Planet Crafter has no automation though. I wouldn't consider.
No,
it
yeah,
automation.
I don't
Base
consider it
building,
automation.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, those are the two big ones that I know and I've played. How about you?
Top ones in my library are Satisfactory.
Of course.
Pal World, which there's a fair bit of automation in there.
Yes, yeah, because you use your pals to start doing stuff for you.
But it's not an automation game.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider
Right.
that an automation game.
So it definitely has automation elements. I bought Cubifactorium, which is, I would say, definitely an automation game. I haven't played it heavily.
Oh, Tectonica.
Tectonica.
Sorry. Man, I am yawning so much right now, and I apologize. Yeah,
I know, you're making me...
Tectonica.
You're making me too!
Yeah, no, Tectonica I played.
Tectonica. Okay, I've never played Tectonica. What is the whole thing with Tectonica?
Satisfactory, but underground.
Underground. Okay, I got you. Let me take a look at this. Oh, that looks fun. That looks fun. It's on my wish list already. Well, would you look at that? How did that happen? I just add everything to my wish
He
list
just
at this point.
his wish list is horrific.
Oh my god, 196 right now on my wish list.
I have 21, and I'm going to par that back down to 10.
I keep promising I'm going to clean it up, but I never do.
He never does.
So yeah, also I've got Dwarf Fortress.
Oh, is Dwarf Fortress on it?
Dwarf Fortress is, I would say, because you need to set up tasks and set up manufacturing and set up, I would say it's automation.
Okay, yeah.
The entirety of the game is more colony sim or base building.
Yeah, because I when I think of Dwarf Fortress, I think Dwarf Fortress, RimWorld. What else? What else do I think? Going medieval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got Mindustry.
Oh, that sounds super automated.
Mindustry is like an automation. It's like automation / tower defense. It's more strategy game, I think, than anything else. Dyson Sphere program, obviously. I had an ant game called Empires of the Undergrowth, which is more base building strategy, city builder, but for an ant colony. But there's some automation there, like you tell them where to go and what to do, but not really an automation game. Production line is automation. I don't think it's very good automation. It's probably a really bad game, and I haven't played it very much. But
it's my turn to get the bad game. So
isn't it my turn?
Wait,
isn't it my turn to get the bad game?
It is your turn.
Last time I played Hollow X Break.
Yeah,
and you played Dark Matter.
I did play Dark. Well, I tried to play Dark Matter.
In the end, it doesn't really dark matter.
In the end, it's just a bunch of dark matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was less than pleased with Dark Matter.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even really remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen on that one. Listen on that one back on the recording.
Get that back on the playback loop.
Radio edit. Yeah. So yeah, automation games. I mean, I love them. The production line car factory simulation game. It's been given really high ratings.
Oh yeah.
Very positive on Steam. I didn't play it much, but it's basically you're building a car factory.
Oh, so you're Ford.
Yeah, you're Ford.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Ford Coppola. So automation. I'm gonna do a quick search for automation because we've got to pick ourselves some automation games. I think right now my favorite is Satisfactory.
Of course, Satisfaction is amazing.
I haven't been able to like break away from Satisfactory since I bought it. I mean, I always come back to it. I've
just when I think I get out.
I've played through when they got up to like tier 5. I like each tier I kind of played up to tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. I was there for it when oil was available. Then I skipped the tier 6 and tier 7 releases. Now they're on tier 8.
Yep.
And then they're going to wrap up 1.0 at the end of this year.
I did because tier 6 they introduced gas gases in the matter.
Yeah.
Not gases in gasoline.
Yeah.
Tier 6 I believe, and tier 7 was the big map update.
Yes, big map update that ruined everyone's save game. Yes.
So I did 6. I've skipped 7. I'm skipping 8 because I'm just gonna play 1.0 when it launches because there will be no 0.9.
Yeah.
I left a review where I said, at its heart, it is a very simple concept: build to build to build. But there's something strangely satisfying about the process. Basically, if you like Minecraft or the TV show How It's Made, you'll enjoy this game. With that being said, early access is as much a warning label as a genre these days, and the multiplayer side, nothing else is really important. But the game itself is very addictive, and I really do love it.
I like it.
I like it a lot. All right, store page, base building automation. Click the popular user-defined tags.
So you get to find me a really crappy automation game. That's too bad because I love automation games, and I haven't really played any bad automation games, and I'm kind of like, oh no.
Oh no. All right, sort by
Sort by a
Kink Inc. It's an 18 plus game.
Oh no.
Hold on.
Oh no. Why are
How is this? It's a clicker idler game. Why is this coming up on my automation? That's ridiculous.
I think there's something wrong with your algorithm.
Yeah, something right. No, there's something wrong with my algorithm.
No, you know what it is? It's just that those games get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
They end up like high up because a lot of them they release so fast. What's Tectonica? Oh yeah, that's one you were telling me.
Yeah,
I just added it to my list. So Tectonica looks cool. I think I figured out which one I want you to try. It's got overwhelmingly positive reviews. I've never played it before.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to just make sure that there isn't something a little more spicy.
Spicy how?
Like just more interesting, lots of game mechanics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, no, good.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine if they made an automation game where it was all just like all of your little minions and robots were just like happy-go-lucky anime girls?
I mean,
nobody's made this game yet.
I'm sure they have.
It's $1 billion idea.
It's $1 billion. We're in. I actually had a really cool idea for a game that I was just kind of. It came to me in a dream.
Okay.
And I'll have to, actually hash it out a little bit later. But yeah.
Like I'm searching automation. This is not automation.
Yeah, I keep getting like clicker games.
This is I can't even repeat this name on our podcast at this point. But yeah, it is an adult only game. And it doesn't like why I'm searching automation. How is it that this is even coming up? It's not even automation. Omega Crafter. That's kind of cool.
Like I get a lot of these idle games. Like idle clickers, things like that. And that's not...
Yeah, IDLE, not IDOL.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that to me isn't what automation games are, right?
Yeah, totally.
Automation games are like you got to build your factory up or your it bothers me that this is Steam. Get your... And I'm complaining, but Steam provides so much service to people. Like it is amazing what you can do.
There's a reason why they're the single most popular. They're actually getting sued for 652 million euros right now
in the UK.
Yeah. For is it euros or pounds? Maybe it's pounds.
It's pounds in the UK.
Yeah. So they're getting sued for 652 million pounds because there's claims against them saying that because of their monopoly, they've been overcharging for games. Now, here's the thing. Steam doesn't set the price of the games.
No.
The publishers do.
Yeah, but the publishers are setting the price point knowing that Steam, I forget, how much do they take?
Oh, it's a gross number. Like
30%? Yeah, so publishers are setting that price point knowing Steam's going to take a chunk off the top. I always feel bad making you pay for bad games. Like, that's where my hang up is.
Yeah, I mean, I think here's the thing. Steam is sitting on a pile of cash. Steam could easily make it 10% or 15%.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Totally could afford to do that. Especially because what is Steam actually giving me other than a distribution platform?
Yeah.
They're not giving me a game engine.
No.
They're not giving me code. They're not giving me assets. Whereas, like, so if I go by Unity or Unreal, right?
Yeah.
They're taking a smaller cut than 30%. And I've got an engine, assets, asset store, community, support, developers I can lean on.
Yep.
What am I getting with Steam again?
The distribution network, and they also have some neat implementation stuff. Like there's an option to set your game up for like
Steam achievements are cool though.
Steam achievements are cool.
Yeah.
But like there's one automation or there's one thing that I thought was really cool. They let you do remote multiplayer. So if you and I wanted to play a multiplayer game, but you own it, I don't own it. If the developer has clicked allow remote multiplayer,
so like guest play kind of thing.
Yeah, I can join your game and play with you like old school couch co-op, right?
Nice.
And that's just something the developer can click on the Steam page. Like no implementation, no code necessary.
That's
just
super convenient.
But I mean, does that make up for anything else? I don't know.
I still don't think it's worth 30% of your take.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
But unfortunately, Steam kind of does have a monopoly. The Epic Game Store sucks.
Yeah.
The Origin store sucks.
Yeah.
The
I can't remember the last time I booted up Origin.
yeah, no one has come to the table with anything better.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a big Sims player, you're only on Origin, but I'm not a big Sims player.
My Shuno. Gerladarabd Fratadu.
Shibadabadibidlibidabdab.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly.
Yeah.
How dare you?
How dare you slap? Yeah, that was always so weird to me. You'd like be talking, and suddenly your guys get slapped. You're like, what did he say?
Yeah, right. So, they're calling my industry an automation game. I kind of don't agree.
Yeah.
Factorio, everybody recommends Factorio.
Factorio is, like I said, it's good. I can't.
Yeah.
I've tried. Lord, how I've tried, but I can't.
Yeah.
I want to. I've tried. My buddy plays it all the time, and he gets like these crazy mods, like. And I've tried to love it. I have. The only one I liked, actually, now that I've said that out loud, was there's one where your base is actually underground, and you keep getting warped to a new planet. Warptorio.
Warptorio.
Yeah, I liked Warptorio, and that's probably because it let you essentially reset the planet, right? Because it's the bugs. It's the bugs that just bother me so much with that game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but turn the bugs off. Yeah, but...
But yeah, just make it easy. Put it on easy mode. Don't bother playing it on hard.
Oh, I don't play it on hard. Chest City Clicker. Again, this is a clicker game. It's not an automation game. The closest one I found is something called DragonForge.
DragonForge.
And it's $13.
Okay.
And I don't, like I said, I don't like the idea of making you pay for a poop game, you know?
Yeah, well, I don't want to make you pay for a poop game either. I don't even want to make you pay for a good game, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. What game have we got coming? What game am I playing?
Have you played FortressCraft Evolved?
No.
Okay.
Never even heard of it.
FortressCraft Evolved. I think I will have you play FortressCraft Evolved.
Okay. What is it on Steam?
On Steam, it's just all one word, FortressCraft. I think it is $13, $14.
$14, yeah.
It is mostly positive, but I found it to be quite enjoyable.
It looks neat.
It's kind of a Minecraft voxel style survival automation game.
Mm-hmm.
The survival component, similar to Factorio, you kind of have to do some base defense and set up some turrets, and you got to power those turrets and provide things for them. It is multiplayer, and I've played it multiplayer, and it is actually really good fun in multiplayer. Okay. But it provides you with certain challenges and things you need to overcome in order to advance your factory, as opposed to just like put the thing in the slot and you get the next tier.
Yeah.
So it is kind of fun. It is definitely more complex than Satisfactory, and I think it's kind of fun. So FortressCraft Evolved is a unique blend of voxel landscapes, tower defense, crafting, logistics, exploration, combat, and assembly lines. Players begin by crash landing on a strange alien world left with only a small handful of starting machines. It is rated mostly positive. It was released November 19th, 2015. The developer is Projector Games, and the publisher is Digital Tribe.
Okay. Well, I've bought and installing.
Cool. That is my recommend for you.
Done.
For your positive
You
game.
are playing DragonForge, my friend.
DragonForge. I mean, that sounds like it should be a cool game.
Right? Sounds like it should be amazing.
DragonForge. $12.99. Okay, cool. Ooh, mostly negative.
Mostly negative.
Boy. All right, well, why don't you introduce DragonForge in your
Give me a second.
radio announcer voice?
My best radio announcer
Give me your best radio announcer voice.
All right, we're down at DragonForge, being an incremental base-building adventure game about managing massive amounts of resources by foraging and crafting. Not one, but both. Born a dragon in a cursed land, you must work to lift the curse by creating abundance. That's right, something out of nothing, nothing out of something. That's your job. You become an extremely powerful dragon. You're born a dragon. You have much to learn, but you're destined to be as powerful as the ancients. You'll learn to attack, jump, fly, swim, and breathe fire, poison, and lightning. As you gain experience, you will level up and become completely unstoppable. Build the city, craft upgrades and equipment. Gather resources and use them to build an expansive city that is constantly automated by your swarm of very talented goblin minions. Now, is this like a short stack goblin scenario, or is this more of a Tolkien goblin scenario? Very important to know.
Very important to know. I guess I'll have to find out.
Yes, you let me know.
I will let you know.
All right.
Cool. Well, hey, I love the automation genre. Hopefully this doesn't ruin it for me.
I adore, there is something beautiful about automation, just like that simple pleasure of, I built it and now it runs itself.
Well, it's just so peaceful.
It is.
I was looking at another game called Foundry, but it was $40 and it doesn't look that good. So I was like,
I've played Foundry.
Is it any good? No, I didn't think so. It doesn't look like it's quite polished yet.
It's very early access, and quite frankly, I have a problem with, I like humor in a game. I really do.
Yeah.
But that humor has to serve a purpose, and if that sole purpose is to make fun of the genre it is in, I find it a little too self-aware. How's that?
That makes total sense.
All right. Well, I've booted up FortressCraft Evolved.
All right. Well, I'm going to put automation into the spreadsheet magic here. And it looks like we're ready to rock and roll. So, enjoy your game.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I'll try not to pull all my hair out by the end of this one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. All right, good luck.
Good luck.
All right, start the timer.
Don't die. Oh, yeah, setting the timer. Oh dear. Okay, no wonder that's not working. Oh,
yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's startling.
It is startling, and that's time.
That is time. Man, you know what? I'm actually getting into this game.
I was kind of getting into it too. Now that I kind of started to figure stuff out, I was like, all right, there's stuff here.
This is a game I could probably. I mean, the thing is, here, I wanna continue playing the game because I want to see where it goes.
Oh.
I want to understand what they're trying to go for. I think they've the controls weird, but I think once I've kind of gotten further in the game and fleshed out like all the little intricacies, I think there could be some interesting things here.
There could be something here.
There could be something here. I can see why it's not rated very well, but you know, I can see some potential here, some potential, you know.
There is potential, is there?
Yes, there is.
Well, on that note,
yeah, let me save my game here, and then we can get on to the next part of our shibbity show.
Shibbity show.
All right, how do I save?
I don't know. Can't help you. Can't help you there, dude.
You know, it's funny, playing and learning a new game.
Yeah,
actually takes it out of you a little bit.
It does. There's that initial okay, now what do I do?
Yeah.
Oh, and on that note, it is conversation time.
All right, man. So
who goes first?
I think we're gonna start with the good. Let's start with the good today.
Let's start with the good today. FortressCraft. Okay. Where to start? So it's very. The opening isn't that imaginative, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a very you've been crash landed on a planet. Here's a quick tutorial on how the systems work. Go.
And go.
Yeah, and that in and of itself isn't a problem for me. I don't mind that. It was fine in that regard. The gameplay loop is like every automation game ever invented. You know, and again, that's not a slur. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Grab resources to build better things, to grab better resources to build better things, so on and so forth. And I generally do like that loop. There were some moments of frustration, and I think that had more to do with just the fact that I was trying to do a lot of this in the dark, and I mean that in a literal sense, because I did a lot of this crafting at the night cycle of the game.
Yeah.
So it was hard to kind of see what I was doing and where I was putting things. Luckily enough, I didn't really get into the combat aspect of the game. I think that would have been just a little too much for what I was trying to accomplish. But in general, there was a level of complexity, and I could see where the game was going to go and where it wanted to go.
Yeah.
I didn't get into the major story beats that you were hinting at, which is too bad, because I was looking forward to those.
Yeah, it actually opens up, so I didn't want to spoil anything while you were giving it a try, just in case, but the deeper you dig, you actually end up in different biomes.
Okay.
And the different biomes have different threats, different creatures. There's like a lava biome, which is incredibly dangerous to try to traverse. And you need to upgrade your suit and things like that in order to handle like heat shielding and stuff like that. So it does get quite intricate in how it, evolves, frankly, as you dig deeper and do more. But like also the number of things that start attacking your base get more and more. The types of turrets and weapons you can build get better and better. It is a game that has a lot of longevity, especially, again, if you're playing multiplayer, which I would highly recommend it to be played multiplayer.
Yeah, no, it looked like the beauty of these games, especially automation games, is when you do get that multiplayer and you have, okay, I'm going to finish up this copper line, and your buddy's like, cool, I've been working on for example, Factorio. One guy is, I'm building power. Like, I will get this steam power line up and running, and while that's going on, the other guy's like, cool, then I'm going to start building a bus. Because we're going to have the power soon. So I'll be able to build this massive factory. So I'll get started now on it, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think most of these games are more fun multiplayer. And I enjoy these types of automation games after work most of the time. When I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I just need brainless things to do. But FortressCraft Evolved is far less brainless, in my opinion, than Satisfactory.
There was a lot more to think about. Because in Satisfactory and Factorio, you could put everything on one conveyor belt, really, if you wanted to. It's not optimum. But I got a real sense of the conveyor belts really weren't going to do that in this one. I didn't try it, but just looking at them, it wasn't happening. So there's a lot more forethought in running your lines and how that looks. And right now, I was running everything into the central hub, but that's probably not the way you wanted to go. Eventually, you probably want each line to run into its own smelter, and then that smelter peeling off to deliver bars and also to turn into plates.
Yeah.
And then so on and so forth. So I could see where it was going to go, and I was actually kind of excited to get there once I had kind of gotten over that initial hump.
Yeah.
But that hump was real, and I think the game would benefit perhaps from a more in-depth tutorial system.
Yeah, I noticed too, like, I tried helping you at one point because I kind of like, maybe I'll remember because I played this for like a long time.
Yeah.
And looking over your shoulder and I'm where I'm like, can you hover your mouse over the thing? And you're hovering your mouse over the thing, and like even the thing isn't telling you what the thing is or what it's doing. And I think tooltips cannot be overvalued.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, tooltips, everything like that. Like, again, I guess that goes back to a conversation we had a very long time ago in one of our first episodes about accessibility, right?
Yes.
There are people who believe that a game should be hard to get because, gosh darn it, no one should enjoy my game unless they work for my game, right?
Yeah.
And I disagree with that mentality entirely.
The only games that should be hard to get are dating simulators.
Because real life dating is hard. Yeah, no, dating simulators should be amongst the most complex, difficult games in the world, and yet they're quite often just click roulette.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, thoughts?
I think, and it is an early access title to an extent. I think it's out of early access, but it's being heavily supported.
Man, it's been early access since like 2015.
Yeah,
and
it seems like it's a very active developing community.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because even a lot of the features you mentioned, like the multiplayer feature where It'll leave the bars that you had in your inventory in the server so that you're not like stealing resources or losing resources.
No.
It's those kinds of things that they're adding to the game and that they're continually kind of making the game have value. And I think that's why it still has a good ranking on the store page, because they are still doing work on it, and it is mostly positive. It is not tagged early access anymore, so it must be version 1.0. But
yeah, I think it's out of early access. But it seems like they're very actively involved in developing it, and I applaud that. Like, we're too often being hit with this like games as a service tagline, and I just like this idea of like, I've just released a game and now I'm going to milk it for another 30 months.
Yeah.
Or whatever the development cycle is. But I've released a game and I'm supporting it, I'm updating it, and that support is just baked into the cost. I think that is the way, that is how every developer should develop.
Yeah, there are a lot of complaints in the reviews about that once the game kind of went out of early access and went live, kind of 1.0, that a lot of things still felt unfinished or unpolished.
I could get, yeah, I can understand that. The tutorial alone is non-existent.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that said like what this game was in 2015 or 2018 was more fun than the final version that it is today, because it became maybe a little too complex. And I think it's still getting mostly positive reviews, because I think complexity is very much a personal like or dislike.
Yeah.
You know, like you can go, well, I love complex games, and I do. I love it when it's so complex that it's like Stellaris.
Yeah, but even Stellaris, the complexity ramps. Like, it doesn't start.
It plateaus. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't start there, but
yeah.
It you know, the complexity of I have one star system and one scout ship. Like, not really there, but once you start getting into a bit of a galaxy-spanning empire, then complexity ramps up quick. But this game, it very much felt like, okay, go.
Yeah, here you go. Go, figure it out. Yeah.
And again, grappling with that and coming to terms with that is enjoyable. And I've played enough automation and crafter games that I could fill in the missing gaps, much like the frog DNA in Jurassic Park. But we all know how that turned out.
Dino DNA.
Dino DNA. We just fill in the gaps and complete the code.
Yeah. Yeah, we let's see. We combined the T-Rex with Velociraptor.
Oh God, right.
And,
the Indominus Rex. We made a life form.
Yeah, we filled in the gaps with
chameleon
DNA and amphibian.
Yeah, but no, Jurassic Park or Jurassic. What was that one? Jurassic World.
Jurassic World.
Yeah, and then there was the sequel where they're being auctioned off, and then there was the third one, which was Fallen Empire.
Yeah, Fallen Empire.
Yeah,
which I haven't seen.
Okay, so Fallen Empire to me, and we're getting way off track.
Yeah,
Fallen Empire to me was 2 movies.
Yeah,
one of those movies with the original cast of Jurassic Park was actually really good.
Yeah.
The other movie with Star-Lord, Chris Pratt, thank you, was bad, just genuinely bad.
Yeah.
All right, and sorry, I got distracted. FortressCraft Evolved, it still felt early access to me.
Yeah.
So the fact that it is no longer early access is concerning.
Fair enough.
But it had something. There was something.
Yeah. I find that the deeper you delve into it, the more you want to keep delving into it.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Well, because once I sort of figured out what I needed to do, it was like, okay, I can do this. It was cool.
Yeah.
But now we get to the ratings. And
All
I
right.
believe it's graphics and art up first.
Yes.
It's voxel based. I don't hate voxel based.
But there's well done voxel based.
There's well done
poorly
voxel
done
based. There's poor voxel based. This was arguably prettier than a lot of voxel based I've seen, but I feel that what they were trying to go for would have been better served in a different format.
Okay.
This game, I think, would have been done better, sort of a Subnautica style.
Yeah.
More realistic graphics rather than the voxel.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate it. It wasn't stellar though, so I'm gonna give it a 6.
6. All right.
Music audio, I don't remember a damn thing about it.
Yeah.
It was very synth pop, very synthy, like do 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 do.
Yeah.
So music audio is going to be a 5.
Fair enough. And again, like most of these games, I just turn the music off to play.
Yeah. A banging soundtrack would be nice, but it's not going to make or break. Because again, like Trevor's saying, most of the time I'm turning off their music and I'm playing a playlist of my own,
Unless we're playing like a rhythm game, like a Beat Saber or something.
Beat Saber. What's another one?
Dance Revolution. I miss playing Dead End on SSR difficulty. Dance Revolution 3, DDR3. Oh my god.
Gonna get copyright.
If anyone knows anyone who's got a DDR3 machine, arcade machine,
let us know.
I got room in
DM
my basement. Let's do it.
Let us know. What's up?
I will get an A rating on DDR on the Dead End SSR mode if it kills me, which it probably will.
Let's be fair here.
Gameplay. So tell me what you think about the gameplay.
Well, like I said, they didn't reinvent the wheel here. The loop is very simple. Build to build to build to build. I did find their solution to power transmission frustrating at first, but once I kind of grasped how they wanted to handle it, it felt a little bit better.
Okay.
I dislike the inflexibility of it because for a lot of the power, it's using a laser to transmit power from block to block to block.
Yeah.
And I did find out how to go up and down vertical as well as left and right, but that still meant I had to place a block at some point to redirect the power, and only being able to work in the X and Y axis was a little frustrating.
Fair enough.
I think they would have benefited from a more flexible system like power lines, or something to that extent. Regardless, the gameplay itself was satisfactory, tectonic, all of that. It wasn't new, wasn't exciting, but it was well done, and I did enjoy it. I didn't get into any of the intricate mechanics of it. Like I said, I never got past the surface. So I'm probably gonna have to edge cautiously and say 7 on the gameplay here.
So it was a good enough. It was good enough.
Yeah.
It
was good enough. Fun. 6.5.
Yeah. I mean, so the thing is, I think it's hard to have fun with FortressCraft Evolved in 1 hour.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I also think it's harder to have fun by yourself.
Yeah,
I
would agree again.
I can't emphasize enough how a lot of these games are just more fun with multiple people.
Better together.
Where you can divide the tasks up, spitball ideas, have fun, fall down some holes and die. And then respawn. Because I think in multiplayer, if you can continuously respawn as long as one of the players is still alive.
That's a possibility. I wouldn't know.
That's how it used to be, I believe. But yeah, so it's too bad because I really wanted you to like it more.
Yeah. Sorry.
And I might have to poison your coffee, but
joke's on you. I don't drink coffee. Anymore, anyway.
Foiled again.
Yeah, like what I love about these games is like quite often it'll be okay. While I concentrate on building up this, why don't you go and find the copper and build up the copper line, or whatever the next step is, right? Well, I solidify this step. And I really do enjoy that. It's one of my favorite parts about Satisfactory, right?
Yeah.
I'll build a biofuel line, right?
Yeah.
So we'll never have to worry about fuel for a while until we get to the next like super fuel.
Yeah.
And that's fun for me. I like doing that.
I think the challenge for me for this episode was the automation games, the top number 1 automation games we have played. We have played to the extent of hundreds of hours.
Easily.
And so picking a game that you haven't played that I still can say yes, it's a game. The reviews are good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It is hard to pick a game that's top tier when we've already done all the top tier games.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. Like Satisfactory, I have 97 hours in. Factorio probably sitting around 80 hours in Factorio.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we've played them.
We've
played
played 'em.
we played the big boys.
We've done it.
I haven't played Dyson Sphere. I've heard good things about Dyson Sphere.
I lost interest in it in 15 minutes.
Oh dear.
I did. I do want to revisit it, but yeah, 15 minutes in, I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. It felt like Supreme Commander without the fighting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's boring.
It felt kind of boring, but I'm happy to revisit it. I mean, I haven't played it much, so it might come up.
Hey. Yeah, Dyson Sphere program. What is this? Overwhelmingly positive. And it's still early access, so like I could understand why you were like,
Yeah.
There's not much going on.
Yeah, and I played it when it released early access, so it might have been pretty rudimentary.
Yeah.
So your general rating, my good sir?
I'm going to cautiously give this a 6.5.
6.5. Well, your average rating is a 6.1 if we weight your average.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, 6.5. That's a good. I think that's fair. I would love to play this with you again together at some point for like an extended play session, like half a day.
So yeah, that would probably be a lot more fun. Because again, like in anything, it's a lot more fun when you're doing it with somebody else.
It's actually funny because this is the first game that we've kind of looked at where I want to try to convince you that it's good.
I felt the same way about Outpost 2.
Right? Outpost 2 was pretty good. It's very hard to stick to a game that's that old.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yes, that I'll give you.
But I will, mark my words. I will defeat Outpost 2. I will beat the game, and then I will show you the screenshot.
You're lying.
No, I will beat the game. I will do it out of spite.
Yeah, out of spite.
Out of
I
spite.
don't want you to spite play it. It's a good game.
It is. So would you, after an hour of play, would you consider giving this your stamp of approval?
That is going to be a conditional no. If you're playing by yourself, no. It's not worth it.
We're just going to put no. And
But
that's too bad because it does get my stamp of approval, but that's from 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Game's changed.
It might have changed.
Game's
Might have
changed.
changed.
All right. Let's talk about DragonForge. What was that?
All right, so DragonForge, interesting little game,
Yeah.
for sure. Definitely a little indie game. So you start out creating your own dragon, and it's actually kind of
Like a character creator?
the character creator, and
Oh.
you build your
Yeah.
own. You build your own dragon, and it's kind of cool, and the graphics are pretty reasonable, and the dragon's really super cute. And you can choose color schemes and eyes, and it's actually well thought out. So then you create your dragon, and then you're introduced into the world where you meet these goblins, and you have to collect mana. The world is covered in a green fog, and your job is to save the world by lifting the fog, and you need to gather mana to do that.
Okay.
So they kind of give you access to mining wood and stone, and so you go pick up a few basic resources. Coal powers your fire breathing, so like every time you spit fire, it burns up one coal.
Okay.
So you need to like maintain that as a resource. Then you unlock your workshop. You unlock a couple other buildings. You get a laboratory where you can build gems, and each gem is worth some certain amount of mana. And you have to take those gems to an altar, and basically that's like cashing them in for mana.
Okay.
So then your goblins can be automated. So you can tell them, well, take anything manufactured, automatically send it to the altar. So that's where the automation comes in. So I built two different laboratories, unlocked a couple areas. You can level up your laboratories to produce faster and more gems, so that you get mana kind of compounding faster and faster and faster. Then you unlock stories, and the stories are kind of cool. They're like little fables, like talking about the crab and the mother crab and the daughter crab, and she wants her crab to be able to walk straight instead of not straight. And it's kind of like they're trying to tell a moral story or morality, right? Like one of the stories is
Fable kind of thing.
This young boy comes home and has stolen one of his fellow students' books, and his mother doesn't scold him, rewards him for stealing. Then he grows up and becomes a criminal, and he undertakes a really large crime, and then his mother's in the crowd weeping. And then he leans over to whisper something into her ear, and he bites her ear off. And they're like, how could you? How could you? Of all the crimes how could you bite your mother's ear off? And he kind of says, well, had she scolded me when I stole as a child, I would not have grown up to become a criminal, and I would not be on trial, and I would not be guilty, right? So it was kind of like these different little ethical, moral fables, which are kind of a very interesting approach. And each one of these things that you unlock, it unlocks another tier of item for you, or another tier of gem, or some other items that you need, gives you some bonuses. It's an interesting way to build a game, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's basically like a go here, unlock the thing.
Yeah.
And you unlock these stories with mana. And there's about 20 or so different stories you have to unlock to get different tiers of gems, to get more mana, to eventually free up all the fog in this world. And so initially, I was like, well, the controls are clunky. And moving around is kind of hard. I got in my first fight and I like almost died. And then it was like, you failed, try again, the next time. And then I ended up in a boss fight against a giant skeleton. And I just flew around in circles randomly and smashed the click button to throw fire at it as quickly as I could. And I managed to beat it. And I made like 250,000 mana in the onset from that. And so now I could spend money on upgrading buildings and upgrading stories and getting more unlocks. And I started getting into the game loop. And I was like, this game loop is actually...
There's something.
Well thought out.
Okay.
It is not at all traditional, though.
Okay.
It feels very much like I'm gonna take you down the same path of automation, but and build the next thing, upgrade the thing. But I'm gonna do that in a way that is unorthodox, and a little bit different.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, and when the timer went off, I was like, oh, kind of want to keep playing.
Wow.
Yeah. So for a game that's mostly negative on Steam, and there's only 74 reviews, so there's not that many.
Yeah.
But most of the complaints are, I hate to do this to indie developers. It's basically a poor man's mobile app. I don't think it's a mobile app. I think the controls are a little bit not great. I think it could have done a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely.
This review says that the building mechanic isn't very good. And I agree, the building mechanic was hard. Placing a building, you have to find flat ground.
Oh.
And you can't like drag and drop the building. It kind of follows you along as you move with your WASD keys. So it's really hard to find a spot to put a building down, and it's a little confusing. So I can understand why someone would say that. And I agree with that. That mechanic is difficult, but
simultaneously,
I adapted to it.
You adapted and you overcame.
It's just different.
It is.
Could they have done it a lot better with more using the mouse more, or doing third person instead of doing top down?
Yeah.
I think there's
isometric.
I think there's a lot of choices they could have made differently that would have made it a more popular game. It says the game isn't advertised as early access, but boy, is it early access. I mean, for me, it feels like a game that somebody said, here, I like these types of games. I want to build something with a dragon as your main character and goblins as your little helpers. And I want to make a cutesy little fun little game that doesn't hold up to a lot of the bigger games that are in the same genre. And I think that's where people would go into this game and go, I don't think I want to play it. I don't think it's any good. This might be the first time for me, though, that a mostly negative game on Steam, I can turn around and say, you know what? It's actually kind of fun. It's actually interesting. It's not very good. But it's interesting.
It's interesting. It's doing something new in the landscape.
Yeah, like if I could get my hands on the source code for this game and rework a couple of things, this game could be extremely popular.
Yeah. I mean, you get to be a dragon. Who doesn't want to be a dragon?
Getting away from WASD and moving more towards mouse click movement and dropping things with a mouse. WASD would even be fine. But like in Satisfactory, when you put down a smelter or anything else, you move the mouse around to do that.
Yeah.
If they'd have incorporated that, it'd been a lot easier. If they'd have chosen maybe better terrain layouts for their world, where building is easier and less cumbersome, I think that would help as well. There are some positive reviews on it, but mostly are negative.
Yeah.
Cookie Clicker Advanced, but should be called Clunky Clicker Advanced. So,
Ouch.
yeah.
Ouch. That one hurts.
Yeah. Somebody said they 100%ed the game after 32.7 hours. And then said it kind of isn't really worth your time, though. But you know what? Here's the thing. The game is $12.99 Canadian.
Oof. That's nothing.
At some point, it was a $20 game, but it looks like they reduced the price.
Yeah.
For $12.99, if you can get 30 to 40 hours out of this game,
you've got your money's worth.
That's kind of not bad. And I am actually going to leave this game a positive review on Steam because I think that the developer deserves it. I think the game isn't perfect, has a lot of rough around the edges, but I think, you give it a bit of time.
Yeah.
And you play it and you support these indie developers. And if this is something an indie developer can create, I want to see what they can do 10 years from now.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I was just talking about with FortressCraft, just like it didn't do anything new. It's a automation crafter builder, nothing new, nothing exciting. So the fact that they've done something here that you consider new is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the way they presented the game mechanics, they tried something new. I think a lot of people will reject it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the hour, I wanted to keep going.
Hey, remember they rejected JC too, They didn't listen.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. Let's get to the ratings.
Yeah, so graphics and art, it's top down. I think they could have done a little bit more with the graphics and the art. I think the fact that it's kind of a 2.5D kind of top down
vibe,
isometric. I think they could have done better. I think it deserves about a 6.
Okay.
About a 6 out of 10.
Can't be mad at... I am so sorry. Can't be mad at a 6.
Oh, good. The character creation screen, I was like, I had high hopes. The graphics are going to be great. This is going to be good. A lot of the graphics were, I would say, like Warcraft 3 kind of
that era.
Scale, that era. The dragon was highly detailed. They put a lot of attention into it. The rest was kind of maybe a little bit newer than Warcraft 3, but kind of that blockier character design and that more pixely, kind of rough around the edges character design. But overall, I think, it was good enough, but it left you wanting a little more. So 6 out of 10. Music, I don't think there was any.
Really?
I don't recall hearing any music.
Oh, dear.
Completely out of my mind. So
so there you go.
So I'm going to actually just vote that in NA.
NA did not finish.
I don't know if there was actually music. I just remember I heard my fireballs. There was actually some missing audio elements. So if you attacked with your claws and like hit stone or hit trees, I wasn't hearing anything when I was doing that. So it felt like there's some maybe missing audio elements or audio triggers in the game's development.
Oh dear.
Gameplay though. The gameplay, and I think a lot of people will disagree with me here, to be honest.
Well, we're not here to make friends.
I was really concerned 15 minutes in that the gameplay was terrible.
Yeah.
Once I figured out what everything did and what my objectives were and what I was supposed to be trying to accomplish, which the game helps you figure that out. The goblins that you talk to kind of say, well, you got to do this next. You got to do this next. But I got kind of lost because I gathered a ton of mana and I'm like, well, but I still can only build 2 buildings in the workshop.
Yeah.
There's a ton of other buildings, a kitchen, all these other things. How do I get to the point where I can build these other buildings? And I'm like, I need iron.
Oops.
I don't know where to get iron.
Yeah.
I need copper. Don't know where to get copper. There's a lot of resources like wood planks. None of my buildings can build wood planks. So I'm like, there's a lot of resources I haven't figured out how to get yet. But there is a mechanic where you have to spend mana to unlock fog, which open up new areas, which obviously if I open up new areas, it's going to get me access to more resources.
Right, yeah.
Because I didn't find in my whole current open area, I don't have iron. So I'm like, well, I got to probably expand out to get more. The game isn't overly clear on that. So I think a lot of players would be like, this game's stupid. It feels unfinished. There's nothing left to do. Because they're not maybe picking up on the game's several mechanics that it has for the use of mana.
Yeah.
To expand, grow, get further out. So Yeah, gameplay, I enjoyed it. I like what they did with it, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Whoosh.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Whoosh.
And that's just because the gameplay for me made me want to keep playing. And if I finish...
there's no higher mark of honor. Like, if I just want to keep playing, then you did your job.
Yeah, if I'm interested in playing your game, it's not a terrible game.
There you go. Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, was it worth for if I had to pay $20 or $25 or $30 for this game, I wouldn't say the same thing. I think that the price of a game definitely plays into my ratings.
There you go.
And so for $12.99, I think, you know what?
It was an 8er.
I want to see what you do next. Build some games, take some criticism, some feedback,
polish it a little
bit, but the skills that this developer has are good enough that if they can apply the skills in the right way, they could make a really solid game.
Well, that's high praise.
So
Very
fun.
cool.
I have to take into weight that in the beginning, I struggled. For 15, 20 minutes, I was like, what next? But then the automation starts, you start getting used to it. And so I have to say that for fun, it's probably going to get a 7 out of 10.
Wow.
Right?
You genuinely actually had a good time with this game.
It was good enough. Good enough. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not a great game. I think that, again, lots of people are going to disagree with me and be like, this game is not worth the rating you're giving it. I'm going to give it a general rating of a little bit lower of 6 out of 10.
Okay. But a lot of your rating's based on the price point, right?
Totally. Yeah. But also 6 out of 10, like, I wouldn't give it a 6 out of 10 if I wouldn't say, hey, go try this game.
Yeah.
It's $13. Stamp of approval is, look, it's not a perfect game. It's not a polished game. So instead of saying yes or no, I'm going to say, if you want to try something that tried something different, give this a try.
Give this a go. Huh.
If you are a person who has no patience for new game mechanics or different approaches to games, don't play it.
Don't.
So it's conditional.
It's a conditional.
It's a conditional stamp of approval.
Okay.
But I didn't hate it.
You didn't hate it.
I don't think it deserves the mostly negative score that it got.
Interesting.
Mixed reviews? Yes, I would agree with that. I don't think it deserves mostly negative.
Huh.
Yeah.
Ooh, pardon me.
It's definitely not going to win any awards.
No, Lord no.
It's definitely, but actually, as I was playing, I was about halfway through, and I thought, if I had kids, this would be a fun game for me to get them to play.
Oh.
I think that a younger audience would appreciate the game more so than an older audience, because we're older, we're jaded. We're sitting here with Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and we're, all these AAA titles, Hogwarts Legacies, best graphics in the world. But this reminds me of when I was like 12 years old, playing Warcraft 2, right? And
to go back to that era.
Yeah, this is like, if this game had come out when Warcraft 2 came out, it would have come out to good reviews.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It would have been hailed as a new way of storytelling, yeah.
Of course, this game would have never run on a computer.
There's that.
From back then, because its graphics are much better than Warcraft.
Well, that
2.
was actually a setting on FortressCraft. It was like, don't click this until 2020.
Yeah.
Which was very funny to me.
This is experimental. If you use it at your own risk.
Yeah, right.
It may cause some stuttering, seizures, fire. Yeah. I mean, if you have a 4090, that may cause fire too. So.
Well, this is true. What was they had an issue with the connecting cord?
Yeah, the new 12-volt connectors are kind of hot garbage. Literally hot garbage. Yeah. I've done a lot of builds with 4090s, and not one of them that we used the standard cable that came with it. Not one of those have had any issues. One of the builds, we went with the cable mod connector, and I explained the risks to the guy. I said, look, these connectors are prototype. They're new. We're hearing failure rates. We're hearing all these other things. do so at your own risk. And he said, no, I want the 90-degree connector. We'll do that. And it ended up lasting, his 4090 lasted for about 7 months.
Oh.
And then the connector, the cable mod connector melted and fused into the connector on his 4090. So I managed to get it out. He managed to bring the card in for RMA. They actually RMA'd the card.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, so the card was replaced. He got a replacement. It took him a while though, because they were on back order at the time. But he got it replaced, and all things said and done, I didn't charge him for the extra work of going and helping him troubleshoot that, because I just felt like, I did warn him, but I take good care of my clients. But yeah, buyer beware when you have a video card that pulls that much wattage, and those little connectors, they're hot garbage. This game, however, was not hot garbage as some of the reviews would suggest.
Was it tepid, or do you think it wasn't even garbage at all?
No, I don't think that this game is garbage at all. I think that it
how exciting.
I think it is very rough around the edges, and I think that it tried taking an approach to its gameplay that is unorthodox and would turn a lot of people off because of that. But if you give it a chance, the one guy beat it. He beat the game. He played through 37 and a half hours and then gave it a bad review. Dude, if you played it for 37 and a half hours and you beat the game,
you had fun.
It's not worth a bad review.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially at $12, yeah.
If there's so many games I've bought and within 3 hours I'm like, this game is hot garbage and I'm done with it.
Yeah.
This isn't one of those games. I feel like you might get a little frustrated playing it with the build mechanic and some of the other rough around the edges things we talked about, but I'm happy. I'm happy that we were able to bring a really bad game with mostly negative reviews to the surface and go, hey, it has its merits.
Yeah. No, and I really like being able to do that. And I think a big thing that we've often talked about is we don't want developers or anything like that to go, now I don't want it. And it's like, no, make your game. Absolutely make your game. Never feel scared about creation. Just be aware that once you put it out there, it's going to get critiqued.
The only creation that I'm afraid of is having children.
Oh, as well you should be. I've met you. More of you? No.
No, we don't need more of me. One of me is more than enough.
But yeah, no, it's really awesome that we're able to look at these games and say that, yeah, it's not perfect, it's not great, but there's something there that is very unique and interesting, and I want to see more from this developer.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Make some more games. Yeah. And give me a shout when you need a beta tester, because
we're here.
I think that if you are a third of the way into development and you get some feedback from some seasoned gamers that know what works and what doesn't, and can provide you with actual suggestions on how to make it better, you could dominate the gaming industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're here for you.
Cool.
All right, team.
Well, that was fun.
It was, and thank you all again for joining us. We're going to sign off now. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Trevor.
And good luck.
Have fun.
Maybe die a little bit.
No.
Don't die.
No, don't die.
Don't die.
Don't die. Live as long as you can so that you can play as many games as possible.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And that's our time and the end of our episode.
But don't feel sad it's over. Be glad it happened. From the two of us in the basement, thanks for tuning in.
Join us next time.
And feel free to send us any feedback on our socials or send us a direct email at bfcpcontact@gmail.com.
And if you're really interested in what we're doing, join us on Patreon, where we will have loads of behind-the-scenes stuff and uncut takes as more episodes are released. Patreon.com/basements, faults, and catapults.
We're always excited to hear from you because we love engagement. We look forward to our next catapult launch and hope you can join us for the ensuing chaos.
Good luck.
See you next time. It's actually funny. I was talking to, I'm on these Reddit groups that talk a lot about podcasting. And, because, we're podcasting.
We're podcasters.
And a lot of the questions that are coming up are, how do I make money on a podcast? How do I turn my podcast into a successful business? And I'm like, okay, well, let me tell you right now. If you want to do anything creative whatsoever, whether it's podcasting, comedy, movies, film, television, theater,
you're going to be putting in a lot of work before you start seeing a return.
If you're doing it for money, you're in it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
You have to want to do it for fun.
Yeah. And it's not unreasonable to expect eventually that you'll be able to at least pay rent.
Well, it's like with all things. I mean, if you stick at it long enough and you don't give up, it'll turn into something.
But yeah, no, it's you're not. I shouldn't say you're not, because there's always that flash in the pan moment. There's always that one perfect moment of everything.
Yeah.